尊敬的中国领导们 distinguished leaders of the world, and other distinguished guests, I'd like to thank you all for your participation this morning. I'd like also to express my deep gratitude to the organizers of this event. Tsinghua University, thank you for your very kind introduction and inspiring speech. And also Dr. Lee Hyun-jae of Yoshi재 and President Kim Yong-hak of Yonsei University for equally inspiring statement. And Chairman Hong Seok-hyun and President Kim Do-yeon of Postec and the 반기문 Center for Global Citizens, where I'm representing as co-chairman. 大家好. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Our planet Earth is beseeching us to make a commitment and resolution. Humanity was deeply moved when they saw the photo of our blue planet taken from Apollo 8, 1968. However, soon after in 1972, the Club of Rome warned us of the Earth's global warming. You have already seen so many dynamic and graphic photos. Some ignored that warning. There were many skeptics. Some others worked hard to protect the planet. Climate change today is a root cause of poverty, disease, hunger, security concerns, and energy crisis. Climate change is an urgent threat to all of humanity. The Earth is getting warmer and warmer. Heat waves, forest fires, earthquakes, tsunamis, typhoons, cyclones, and you name all this, and other calamities are striking us with increased frequency and intensity. We don't have much time. The Earth will not wait for us. I have been warning that the nature does not negotiate. They do not wait for us. We need the courage and resolve of everyone gathered here. Now, new leadership alone can rescue mankind. That is exactly why we are gathered here this morning in Beijing. While serving as the United Nations Secretary General, I work to improve sustainability and humanity. The UN proposes 17 goals for sustainable development, which you have seen on the video. Every single one of them is of great importance. I try to work hard as the heart that does not differentiate in giving blood. However, it still ails me that there are too many of these challenges, all of them extremely complex. What is at the heart of addressing these 17 challenges? Today, I am confident that the hubs of unsustainability on this planet are the larger cities, dominated by conglomerates, mass production, and mass consumption within our industrialized civilization. Urban populations constituted only 10% of global population before industrialization. Today, half of the world's population lives in cities, and 50% of this urban population reside in larger cities with more than 1 million people. Such cities overcame abject poverty for mankind and helped develop what is known as mass democracy. But the city of industrial revolution has now become a core factor in unsustainable development. Firstly, cities are the main culprit behind global warming. Cities account for over 70% of energy, global energy consumption, and greenhouse gas emissions. 40 megacities around the world, including Beijing, are currently collaborating to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, but this challenge remains. This is what we know C40. Second, cities further exacerbate inequality. The wealthiest 10% of residents of London own 60% of the city's real estate. Third, the high cost of living is thwarting the dreams of young people. The high cost of housing makes it impossible for the young and creative to reside in cities. Recently, in Silicon Valley in the United States, the high cost of housing and inflation has caused people and companies to move away. Fourth, cities are ruining lives. In the midst of the endless competition propelled by larger cities' industrialized civilization, souls are dying as well. Lone deaths are increasing in many larger cities around the world. In Korea, unfortunately, lone deaths have doubled in the last 5 years. The task of creating new civilization that transcend industrial civilizations starts from looking beyond these great but perilous cities. We must create a next civilization through new creative cities. That's the main agenda, main theme of our discussion today. Whether this new civilization has creativity or not is at the core of the issue. Historian Toynbee once said, I quote, "Civilizations are born out of creativity and are destroyed by a lack of it," unquote. Then where is the creative ability achieved? It is achieved in creative cities. These very cities are the places where creativity is enabled. This is because our people and knowledge gathers in cities to synergize creativity and innovation. Cities are the mother of civilization. Cities are also the result of civilization. History has shown us enough that cities are born when new civilizations are born. Xi'an of China and Rome led the agricultural civilization, while both the East and the West followed. London and New York shaped the industrialized civilization, while the rest of the world followed. There is a Chinese saying that goes, "Get back up where you fell down. 因第二道者，因第二起业." Since cities created these problems, we must address them through cities. The winners and losers in our fight to achieve sustainable development will be determined in cities. The key is to create sustainable small and medium-sized cities. We must create new shelters for a new civilization for the 2.5 billion people of the world that will be moving to cities in the future. The creativity of next civilized city, as desired by humanity facing a common fate, will come from three aspects. First, we must overcome unsustainability, the single greatest dilemma of the Industrial Revolution. Cities, as I said, produce 70% of greenhouse gas emissions, the main culprit of climate change, and 30% of that arises from transportation. At any given moment, 96 out of 100 cars are in the parking lot. Can you believe this? While only 4 are on the road. We waste between 1 and 3 hours of our time commuting each day. This is because our workplaces and residences are too far apart. Now, these cities of a new civilization must create a way of life where the workplaces and residences are close by. A certain automobile company has successfully achieved an 80% of rate of teleworking. We need creative cities that help prevent global warming and reduce all other forms of waste. Second, we must take control of digital technology for the city. A new civilization is rising based on digital technology. In the era of industrial civilization, people moved to where knowledge and information were. They had to go to school to see a teacher, to the hospital to see a doctor, to the bank for money, and to stores for products. They also committed to work. Today, revolutionary changes in digital technology are bringing work, medicine, education, and shopping into our palms, to our apartments and our houses. Our residences will become a new platform. A significant 60 to 70% of our work, education, and medical services will take place at home. Some experts predict that in 2 to 3 decades, a house could contain about 200 and 300 devices. A person like myself would have a lot of difficulty in living with so many parts and equipments in my houses. Again, we have to adjust ourselves. Our homes will no longer look like those of today. As the elements of urban life change, new cities are bound to emerge. Many elements constituting the schools, hospitals, and parliaments invented in the 19th century will become remnants, will have to become remnants of the industrial era. One reason is the fact that it is very hard for self-driving cars to navigate through today's cities. Self-driving cars and drone taxis will function optimally when new cities come about. The rise of cities of a new civilization that will take the lead in the digital era is inevitable. Third, new value must be created in the city. Communities are being devastated. Inside today's gigantic cities are lonely souls. In the United States in the 2000s, suicide increased by 25%. In Japan, dying alone is a major social problem. And it is said that the rate of people suffering from depression is also rising. Though we are awash with the social media, we are leading lives that are lonelier and more difficult. We need cities where we are fond of our neighbors. We must reignite labor through mankind. At present, labor is recognized in the market as contributing towards corporate profit creation. Now, we must properly assess labor for the community. Some young people are dreaming of a community that is 100% assessed through blockchain technology, and that goes to labor used for the generation of area. The East and the West are coming together. Humanity will find a better future through new values that harmonize the world. Humanity is desperately waiting and wishing for great creativity from these three aspects. In the age of the Industrial Revolution's mass production and mass consumption, large cities took center stage. Today, in the age of custom production and consumption, small and medium-sized cities and rural communities creativity will be at the center. I know that there are many mayors and governors here present, and you should remember these facts. Let us create sustainable, creative, small and medium-sized cities, which offer a quality of life and competitiveness as good as those of larger cities. Let us create cities of a new civilization that drive the digital technology revolution. Let us create cities that combine the East and the West. The next civilized cities will be possible only through a creative global institutions. There have been countless individual and accidental creations. There have also been many great creators, as we see here. However, Peter Drucker says that creation comes from organization. Solitary inventors are important for innovation, but creative organizations have attained even greater creativity. Key transitions in the history of civilizations were made by creative organizations. In retrospect, the evolution of creativity generally meant the evolution of a creative organization. The creation of a new civilization will be possible only by humanity's most creative organizations yet. This new civilization needs many new inventions and tools. These include knowledge, technology, product, institutions, and ideas that lead the civilization forward. Cities are humanity's most complex and comprehensive institutions. A car has about, I was told, 20,000 components. And the plane has from 0 to 4 million parts. Then can you believe that an oil drill ship has about 20 million components? A city of the new civilization will require countless of components that will usher in an epochal transformation. Furthermore, cities are places that integrate human life. Global institutions that can expand scientific advancement are required. A global creation is therefore inevitable. That's why we need to think very seriously. Ladies and gentlemen, today we must transcend the great individual, corporation, and nation to start a new planned creation that involves all of our humanity. We already have experience working together for the common evolution of humanity. There is the example of Wikipedia. 70 million people from around the world voluntarily take part in editing 2.4 billion lines of text. Then there is a Genome Project. For 13 years, 6 countries took part, like the United States, China, United Kingdom, Germany, and France in this project. The result was the per person cost for analyzing genetic makeup was reduced from $1 billion to $1,000. I even cannot believe this, but it has happened that way. There is an ongoing nuclear fusion power generation project called ITER in France. 7 nations, including the United States, European Union, China, Korea, are part of this project. The process is over 50%. Efforts to create new cities have also started in many places. There are 180 projects around the world that were developed under the name Smart City. Microsoft is experimenting with the new cities in Arizona, and Google's is in Canada. China is doing so in Xiong'an new area, Singapore in virtual twin city, and Korea in Sejong City. We must bring together these scattered efforts to create new cities. We cannot change the destiny of humanity through scattered efforts. We must go beyond the individual, corporate, of our national level to create the new future. Now, we need an innovative institution that brings together all great creators of the world. To do so, we need guiding determination, infrequently seen in our times. Like President Lincoln's determination to fight the Civil War, to maintain the unity of the United States, and end the institution of slavery. Like Mao Zedong's determination to shape a new China, like Deng Xiaoping's determination to open up China through Shenzhen. We need determination to open a new era. We must create a creative institution and build a city of new civilization. That way, we can do away with the unsustainability of staring ever so coldly at our fate. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, I believe China must play a central role. That is why Yoshije and all other organizers have decided to come to this Beijing. A renowned futurology scholar said that a new civilization will originate from a city of Asia. I believe that there is a high probability that this city will be in China. In China alone, 500 million people will be entering cities in the near future. This is as large as whole Europe's total population. Changes in China are of critical impact to the entire world. Whether China can create sustainable change will also determine the fate of humanity. This Chinese leadership is also yearning for a city of new civilization. It is working to build cities of wisdom, of humanities, and of an ecologically friendly civilization. If Shenzhen was a city formed in the past to experiment with the Western industrialized civilization, Shanghai's Pudong was a competitor to the West. Now I believe it is high time that China take up the challenge of building a city of new civilization to bring the East and the West together for China and for whole humanity of the world. China must play a central role in the planning and construction of this city of new civilization. If China succeeds in working with the world to create a city of new civilization that we all love and we all want to live in, its dream will become the world's dream. China has the potential. China gave us the 4 greatest inventions of all times. Up until 1801, China represented more than 30% of the world's total GDP. It rose through the ashes of the Opium War in 1840 and became a G2 power now. China also has a strong leadership. China has the ability to take up the great challenge of overcoming unsustainability for this planet and humanity. China must take the lead and realize mankind's dream of a city of new civilization, as you did when Paris climate change was agreed upon. It was only possible with President Xi Jinping and President Obama's combined effort, leadership. I deeply appreciate this. And now China can do to create these civilized cities. Ladies and gentlemen, next civilized cities must become humanity's dream and future. This dream requires an institution for planning and creation. Global creators must come together. First, we must focus on planning and creating an innovative pilot city. We can work with the United Nations and international community. We must create a successful pilot city. I think Xiong'an may become a pilot city. The city must be loved by the world. Then our path to the next civilized cities will be wide open. No roads began as roads. Lu Xun, a Chinese author from a century ago, once said, I quote, "There was no road on the ground in the beginning. When people began to walk and many more followed, it becomes a road. 走的人多了，便有了路." Thank you for your encouragement. We must walk a new road. We have never walked before. We must keep hope that we have never cherished before. When more people have hope, it will grow bigger and become a reality. I hope to walk the road with all of you present here today. I will make my plea in every corner of the world. I hope that you will become the champions of create the new history. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, this is the first time that we meet in Beijing. There will be many more such forums. It is important that we make sure that everybody understands the importance and significance of this next civilized cities. And let's work together to work this world better through creating this next civilized cities. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much. 谢谢。